darlings, what's up? Happy Thursday. I'm Christy with AppSumo, and thank you for tuning in today. It's going to be a rockin' party today, guys. We've got CEO and founder Andrew of Activechat. Welcome, Andrew. Happy to have you.
Hi, Christy. Thanks for having me here. I'm happy to be here with you tonight.
Awesome. You guys, we have over 500 people registered for this webinar. So y'all are loving Activechat and or are interested in learning more about chatbots. So if you aren't familiar with Activechat, it is a chatbot platform that Andrew is going to take you through in just a few minutes. He's going to take you through a demo and a walkthrough and also talk to you about how to use chatbots for your business. So I also want to tell you how this webinar is going to go. Right now, you're seeing the both of us, but just in a second, I'm going to shut down my camera. Andrew's going to take over, and he's going to take you through a demo. If at any point you have questions for him, go ahead and put it in the chat box. And then at the end of the webinar, I'll come back on and I'll ask him all of your questions. So again, we're going to answer all the questions at the end. But if you can't make it until the end, that's okay, because later today, I'll be sending out a replay of this webinar. So that way you can catch up on what you missed, or you can just replay it from the beginning, maybe at a slower speed if you need some extra learning help. So I think that's everything. Let me check the chat box. Chat box. Do we have people? Yeah. All right.
Yeah,
people,
I think so. Hi, everyone.
Yes, everyone's here. Awesome. And we already have questions coming in. So it's going to be, did I just cut out? I think I might have just cut out. Anyway, we're back. And then now I'm going to let Andrew take it over. Andrew, make sure that you can share your screen. And once I see that, I'll go ahead and shut my camera down and let you take over.
Okay, checking this for you, and thanks for a great intro. Can you see the screen now?
Let's see, I think it's coming. Yes, I can see your screen. Looks like a never-ending.
Yeah, okay, perfect then. And I'll get to my deck now, and hopefully it's okay now.
Perfect, that looks great. All right, I'm gonna shut my camera down. I'll be back on at the end to ask your questions. Andrew, take it away.
Okay, thank you so much for a great intro, Chris, and hi everyone who is in the chat. I will be paying some attention to the messages that you sent to the chat, but we'll be answering your questions by the end of this webinar. Hopefully it will take around 40 to 50 minutes at all. So let's dive straight into this. I'll turn the camera off so that it doesn't distract you, and we are good to go. Okay, so for a short intro, my name is Andrew, and I'm founder and the CEO of Activechat AI, founder of the platform, and I'm building bots for customers since 2016. And I have to admit, I love chatbots. I love chatbots because they redefine the human-to-computer interaction. They provide better customer support. You can do better marketing with chatbots. You can achieve more productivity. Get instant responses to your audience. They let you lower ad costs and lower support costs for your businesses, and they increase customer satisfaction. And I would like you to share your own opinion. If you agree, if you have some previous experience with chatbots, please share something like a couple of smileys in the chat so that I can know that we are on the same wave here. But at the same time, I have to admit that I hate chatbots. And the reason for this is that most of the chatbots do not bring any real value, and that happens quite often. Why? Because conversations suck, and AI is dumb, and the development of really useful chatbots is quite expensive, retention is low, and customers seem to be disappointed with all that hype that doesn't bring real value. Generally, 80% of chatbots conversations fail, and only 20% succeed. And we wanted to change this with our solution, with our own platform. There's clearly something like an implementation gap. We have great technology, and it constantly fails to deliver great business values. And we wanted to address this, creating our own solution for this. I've tried almost every chatbot platform out there. I was working with ManyChat, with ChatFuel, with FlowXO, MotionAI, ConverseAI, Cognigy, and so on. And there are two basic shortcomings to each of these platforms. They are either too simple to build bots that do real stuff and bring real value, or they are too complex to be used by a non-developer. So for example, chatbots are supposed to communicate with users, and communication happens in natural language. But when you build chatbots that understand natural language, doesn't matter if you use some third-party decisions like Dialogflow or Widget AI, or maybe some custom NLP models, it is quite hard to integrate into decision tree models. And decision tree chatbots, just to remind you, are bots that are driven by buttons and quick replies and so on, the ones that are you may be quite used to on the Facebook. When you talk about intents, entities, context, and live chat, that's all a pain in the neck to implement in a chatbot and do it at a cheap price. And then another shortcoming is integrating into real business. More value that chatbots bring means that you need more integrations. And more integrations are more pain, definitely more pain for the developer to implement. And again, taking more pain means less value for your customers. Here I'm talking about e-commerce chatbots, about integrating to CRMs, about lead management, about content management systems, support chatbots, and so on and so forth. So we decided to build our own solution for this based on my previous experience and the experience of my team. And we came out with a visual chatbot architect that is easy for non-technical people, that combines natural language processing power and decision tree-based chatbots, that lets you build easily omni-channel conversations, be it Facebook Messenger, Telegram, Viber, WhatsApp, Instagram, voice agents like Google Home or Alexa, and so on. And the platform that contains tons of easy integrations. Just for a short intro, our key strong points and benefits. First of all, we are multi-channel. You can build one chatbot and deploy it to multiple channels. Facebook Messenger, currently we support Facebook Messenger, Telegram, and Twilio for SMS, for short messaging services, and we will be adding more integrations soon. Also, we have Visual Flow Builder for easy conversational design that can be used by non-tech people to build conversations. And we would like to encourage you to build not chatbots, but to build the conversations for your business, conversations that will drive more sales, drive more engagement, and so on for your customers. Then we have a natural combination of decision tree model with natural language understanding power that is called NLP, natural language processing. We have a couple of one-click integrations to existing business frameworks like CRMs and CMSs and so on. And we provide something that is easy to run, support, and update bots in live environment. You can build a bot and connect it to your Facebook page in just a couple of mouse clicks, and I will show you how to do this soon. And the process of creating a chatbot in our platform doesn't involve any complex tech and lets you actually build bots that bring some real value to your customers. If this makes any sense, please send a couple of 8s or 9s to the chat so that I know that we are still on the same wave here. Our basic concept is something like a Lego for chatbots. We provide something like small building blocks that come in sets of specific categories that you can use to build complex conversations. And you can use these small blocks to build something that we call skills in the chatbots or flows, and I will get back to this just in a couple of minutes. So let me check what's there in the chat. Okay, hello, just hello so far. So basically, I would like to dive a little bit into the concept of skills that we have in the platform. Skill is some small flow that you can build with these Lego blocks that we provide, and this flow does something simple for your customer. For example, a skill can ask a customer for his or her email. A skill can take an order for your chatbot. A skill can take a payment from a customer. A skill can be used to send some broadcast to a customer to inform about something happening in your business right now. For example, I used a small skill to broadcast the announcement of this webinar just a couple of minutes ago to everyone who is in our AppSumo deal chatbot. And the skill contains of blocks. You can see these orange blocks here that we connect with lines. I'll show you how to do this in a couple of moments. Skills are triggered by something that we call events. And the event is something that is happening in your chatbot. For example, when a user starts communicating to your chatbot for the first time, this is event. and we call it start event. When user is sending any message to your chatbot, this is an event again, and this is a default event that I will explain in a moment to you. And then you can generate these events yourself in your chatbot with the use of send blocks. I will get back to this in a moment. And events can be something that happens besides your chatbot. For example, when user is visiting any page on your website, or when user is adding something to your shopping cart, or maybe when user is starting the checkout on your website, or when user is commenting to your post on Facebook, and so on and so forth. You can send these events, and these events can trigger these skills, and I'll show you how to do this right now. There are two basic skills in each of the bots that you built in the platform. And I would like you to pay attention to this. This concept is quite common for all chatbot platforms out there. You can find this in ManyChat, in ChatFuel, and we use the same concept in our own platform in Activechat. You have one skill that starts the bot communication. We call it start skill, and this is where you put something like, hi, I'm bot named, for example, SumoBot. I can help you with this and that. And you onboard the user with like use buttons to navigate or ask me questions and so on and so forth. And this is something that your users will see when they click get started or starting communicating to your bot for the very first time. And then you have another skill that is present in every bot that you create. This is default skill. And default skill is triggered every time user is sending a message to your chatbot. You can use this skill if your bot doesn't understand any messages at all. You can use this skill just to send a message, sorry, please use buttons or quick replies. I do not understand what you sent to me. Or you can use a switch block to branch conversation based on the content of this message that the user sent to your chatbot. Or if you are more into natural language understanding chatbots, you can use NLP engine like Dialogflow or Widget AI to send this user input to this NLP engine and use this to trigger other skills in your chatbots. If it makes any sense, please send a plus sign to the chat, to the webinar chat, so that I understand that this is clear for you. And we'll be ready to jump right into the platform to show you how to build chatbots there. Okay, perfect. Okay, you can see this mirror effect since I was checking the chat, and I will jump right into the platform now. So, getting back to the bots in the platform. Right now, you should be seeing the platform in the screen share. And it all starts with a list of your bots. You can see that I have quite a couple of bots here that I was building for like templates for our platform, that I was building for our customers, and chatbots that I was building for this AppSumo deal. And I will show you how to create a new bot with clicking with this Create New Bot button. When you click this button, you have this short onboarding, where you can select a template, one of our pre-built templates, or you can start building the bot from scratch. I encourage you to start with building a couple of bots from templates that we provide to see how it is built from the inside, and to decompose it, to reverse engineer it, and see how the things are working in these chatbots. I will dive into these templates in a little bit later, but currently I will just use this new button to start building bot from scratch. I will give this agent a name. Let's call it AppSumo Webinar Bot. You can put some description here. This is not required, and you can change the image for your bot. Also, this is not required. This is optional. And then you just click Save, and you immediately get to connect the bot to Messenger channels. You can connect it to Facebook Messenger, to Telegram, or to Twilio currently, and we will have Viber and Google Home and Alexa soon, and we'll be adding more channels in the coming months. By March 2009, we expect to have at least half a dozen channels available for each of your bots. When you first come to this page, for example, we'll connect this chatbot to Facebook Messenger. If you don't see any of your pages here, just authorize with Facebook or click refresh pages to see the latest pages that you have. And I have created a test page for this webinar. It is called Activechat AppSumo Webinar Bot. We have it on Facebook, and I'll just click connect here to connect the bot to that page. Okay, now we're done, and the bot is already live on that page, and I can click this arrow to get back to these skills in the bot. And as discussed before, you have this start skill, and you have this default skill. Just a quick reminder, start skill is something that will happen in your bot that when the user starts communication for the very first time. And default skill is something that will happen every time user is sending a message to your bot. I will add some intro message to the bot, taking this text block from here. We have, for user communication, we have text block, image blocks, listen block to get messages from user, and gallery blocks, which I will get to in a moment. I connect this start block with this text and use block editor to put something like hi first name. We have a couple of system variables that contain user first name, user last name, user locale, language, and so on. You can check the list of these system variables in the manuals, and you are free to use these variables in your bot communication. Hi first name, I'm test bot, great to meet you, for example, like this. And then I will add a simple block to default skill so that the bot is able to react to user messages. I'll connect this text block again here, and I will just send the message that user sent to the bot back to this user. I will put here something like you said, and then I will use another system variable that is called last user input. And last user input is a system variable that contains the message that the user was sending to the bot. Now I click run to put this bot live, and I can go to Facebook Messenger and find this page in Messenger. It's Activechat AppSumo webinar. Yep, here we are. Sometimes Facebook Messenger hangs, and this is glitches from Facebook. We'll just reload this page for now and find it once again. Activechat AppSumo webinar bot. Yeah, here we are. And when I click get started, my start skill will jump in and send a message. Hopefully it works. Let's see. Perfect. Hi, Andrew. I'm test bot. Great to meet you. If I go back to the bot in the platform, you can see that in the start skill, we have this hi first name. I'm test bot. Great to meet you. Okay, let's try sending messages to this bot. Hello. And then default skill jumps in, and you see this message being forwarded back to the user. You said hello. How it's done in the bot, we have this default event, and it's sending this message back to the user. Okay, so far so good. Please put a plus sign or a yes in the chat if it is clear and you understand the basic concept of the start and default skills, so that I know that it is you are okay with this. I'll switch to the chat for a moment. Perfect. It looks like it worked, and the concept is clear. Okay, let's get back to the chatbot and build something useful for it. First of all, we would like to offer some navigation menu to the bot user, and I will add some buttons and quick replies here. So we started with hi first name, I'm test bot, great to meet you. And then we will add another text block here. By the way, you can make conversation more natural if you use this slider on the top of text block editor, and it will make the bot type the message for a couple of seconds. it will look like the bot is typing the message, and it makes the conversation more natural. So I will say use buttons below to navigate. And I will add 2 buttons to this block. One button will trigger another skill. Let's say how to buy the deal, for example. And this button will be triggering something that we call event. And event will trigger another skill in the chatbot. So we'll call this event deal, and we'll create a special skill in the chatbot for this. And another button will contain the link. For example, visit website, and we'll redirect users to our website. Okay, I'm clicking run once again, going back to Messenger and restarting the bot. By the way, you can, when you have multiple skills in the chatbot, you can start any skill with just typing / and then the name of that skill. Since this skill is named start, I can type /start to restart the bot. You can see the bot is typing the message. This is due to the delay that I used in the block editor. And now you see the message and 2 buttons here, how to buy the deal and visit website. If I click visit website, the bot takes me directly to the link that I put there. And let's connect another skill to this button, how to buy the deal, so that the bot has something like a navigation menu. I'm going back to the platform. Just to remind you, this button, how to buy the deal, is triggering deal event. And I'll create new skill here and call this skill deal. You can see that we immediately have this catch block catching this deal event, and it will be triggered when the user is clicking this deal button. And I connect another button here. Okay, buy the deal, go to the link below. And I'll put another button here with a link to AppSumo deal. By the way, you can use smileys and emojis in the buttons, in the bot communication, almost everywhere in the chatbot. And I'll put the link to AppSumo deal page here. It's appsumo.com Activechat. Okay, I'm clicking run again to deploy this to the cloud, and we're using Google Cloud to host the bots. So even if something happens to the platform, if the editor is not working, or if you made any changes to the bot, that doesn't affect the bots that are already deployed and running in the cloud. They are safe there and will communicate with users even if you break something in this visual editor. So I'm going back to Messenger, restarting the bot once again. By the way, you can see this chatbot that we have for AppSumo deal. I will send a link in the chat now, forwarding a message from one of our customers here. But I can't find. Let's reply to that message. What exactly? It will be forwarded back to this user. I will show you in a moment how to do this. Getting back to the bot. We have this how to buy the deal button that should trigger our new skill, deal skill. Let me show you again how it's done. Start. This text block, how to buy the deal, is triggering deal event. And you have this deal skill starting with deal event, showing another message with another button. So let's start the bot once again. Okay, if I click how to buy the deal, I get this second message. Okay, to buy the deal, go to the link below. You can see that this another skill was triggered. And if I click the link now, here, I'm going to AppSumo page for this deal. Hopefully that makes sense. And now let's jump back to this default skill and add some really useful interaction. Let's try to understand what exactly the user says and branch the conversation based on the content of the message that the user sent to the bot. For this, I will be using I will delete this block with send a message back to the user, and I will use this switch block here. Switch is something that should be familiar to those of you who have some programming background, and this is like a switch or case operator, checking variables for specific content. I will be using this last user input system variable, see if it contains specific keywords, and I will add a keyword, for example, like hello, and I will add another keyword like unsubscribe, and I'll add another keyword. For example, when the user is asking how do I make a purchase, and the keyword will be purchase, then we'll send this user to this deal skill that we have in the bot. All right, so now we have these three options in this switch block, and one more default exit that will be triggered if none of these options is true. Okay, we'll put now text block here. Sorry, can you say it again, please? And I will connect some more text blocks for different conversation branches to these different keywords. For example, when user says hello, I will put another block here so that the bot can respond with hi there. Then, when user puts something that contains unsubscribe, I will add another text block here saying, okay, you are unsubscribed now. And I will use this data block here to set the system variable subscribed to false. Later, when I do any broadcasts or something like this, I can check the value of this variable subscribed and send broadcasts only to those people who are subscribed, who have this variable set to true. Okay, and if the keyword contains purchase, or if the message from the user contains buy keyword, then I will branch the user to the skill that we already created, to deal. And I will use this send block for this to send an event. I will send deal event, and this will efficiently trigger this skill that we built before for this bot. Okay, I'm deploying this again, going back to the bot and restarting it. And it looks like something was broken. Let's check the conversation here. Start should show first name. Click and run. Okay, it looks like I made a mistake when adding these keywords. We'll look into this in a moment. Okay, so now I say hello. And the bot replies with hi there. I say unsubscribe. And the bot says, okay, you're unsubscribed now. And I will add back this buy option here. Send the user to the deal skill. Okay, you can see that the skill was triggered. If I put some more complex message, for example, how do I buy the AppSumo deal? It didn't work. Let's see. Contains buy, should be working. by the deal. Okay, and you can see that the skill was triggered by this buy keyword in the message. If it makes sense, please send something to the chat so that I know that you understand these basic concepts of how you build the conversation and how you use these start and default skills to build the chatbots. And I think we can take a couple of moments to answer the questions that you may be having about this visual builder. While you are sending your questions, I can show you a couple of other tricks. You can drag the canvas with your right mouse click. You can change the zoom level with the mouse wheel or with these buttons here. And you can click, when you have complex conversations, you can click this home skill to recenter the skill to this first sketch block that is triggering the skill.
All right, Andrew, I have some questions for you.
Yeah, sure. You're welcome.
All right, let's get started. Let's see. Peter started off the questions asking, is it possible to just add the Facebook Messenger widget to my site to generate active subscribers for broadcasting direct message purposes while only manually interacting with them over Facebook if they have specific questions?
Yeah, that is definitely possible. You should go to settings. And then grow tools. And you have this chat widget plugin. You put your website address here. Then you select the page that your bot is connected to. You can customize the colors of this widget and the welcome message. And then you just copy this code and paste it in your website. You can see an example of this on the AppSumo deal page. We have another chatbot. I can show you how it is made in a couple of minutes that will do this for you. Does it answer the question?
Yes, no, I think it does. Rogerio would like to know, he said he bought 5 codes for Activechat, and maybe you could talk a little bit about what you get with each code that you buy.
Yeah, absolutely. First of all, the AppSumo deal terms are 10 bots with up to 50,000 monthly users for each code. So that is efficiently 10 bots on our architect plan that we have $49 monthly for a one-time payment of $49. So basically less than $5 for a bot. And when you stack more codes, you can get more bots. And when you stack 5 codes, you get unlimited bots and unlimited bot users for your lifetime. We understand that this is quite a lot since most of AppSumo audience are agencies building bots for their customers. And that's why we decided to make this kind of deal. So stack 5 codes and get unlimited bots and unlimited monthly users to each bot for the agency.
Okay, good. So it seems like when my mic is on, there's a lot of echo. So I'm going to ask you the question, and then when you start talking, I'm going to turn it off. So we have a question. Sure. Someone's asking about a standalone WordPress plugin.
We had our own plugin. We have put it offline currently due to adding more features. Recently, we added a feature of tracking site page visits to the chatbot. This will trigger an event page visited, and for example, you can send messages to users when they visit specific pages on your website. So we currently switched it off, and it will go back again. It will be live in February. And yes, we will have a native WordPress plugin working with WooCommerce and regular WordPress pages that will add this code to your website automatically so that you don't have to copy and paste it. That's absolutely possible, and we are working on this.
Okay, Mark is asking, where is the data stored, and what are your privacy and data retention policies, and are you HIPAA compliant?
As to HIPAA compliance, I'm not ready to answer immediately since I have to consult with our security team about this, but I can tell that we use Google Cloud Storage for all the data, and we use United States-based locations in Google Cloud. And we protect all the connections between messengers, between chatbots, and between the platform and the chatbots through SSL security. Also, we are GDPR compliant since we can download and delete user data upon request. And more on this, we'll put a special article on the website in the manuals about the compliance issues. And actually, our security team knows better about this, so please feel free to reach out to me directly after the webinar in our support chat or anywhere else, and I can specify, be more specific about this.
Okay, we have lots of questions about asking how you are different than your competitors.
That's a great question, and as stated before, I have been using a ton of chatbot platforms before, and actually I decided to build this project based on my own experience. I was not satisfied with any of the platforms, and the reason was that, for example, most popular platforms are ManyChat and ChatFuel, and I think that most of marketers are using these platforms currently. But these platforms are great, we love them, but they are great to build quite simple bots. When your communication, when your conversations start to get more complex, when you need more skills, when you try to use natural language understanding, when you are doing some business integrations like e-commerce or CRMs and so on, the conversations can quickly become unmanageable. And you need some developer participation in this. You need to hire developers that will build some JSON scripts for you, some APIs, and so on and so forth. And we try to address this. So basically, we are focused on the ease of conversational design. You can see that with these blocks, it's basically like a scenario that you can build the conversation from. And then connecting these conversations to actual businesses through simple tools like these JSON blocks and so on. So I can confirm that currently we have almost everything that ChatFuel or ManyChat has, and we are cheaper than ChatFuel and ManyChat, and we can provide more powerful integrations and communications. And the greatest thing about this all is natural language understanding. You can integrate dialog flow to the bot that you built in Activechat with just a couple of mouse clicks. And I will show an example of how we did this for this AppSumo deal chatbot. And lots of our people, lots of our users love this feature.
That was a really great explanation. Thank you for that. Are you guys still hearing an echo when I talk?
Sorry, can you repeat this?
I'm asking the audience if they can still hear an echo when I talk. Let's see if we have anyone still hearing an echo. No echo. Look at that. Oh, yes, you are still hearing an echo. Okay, sorry about that, guys. Some of you are hearing one and some are not. That's okay. I'll still continue to turn off my mic. All right, so we have a question about, does Activechat integrate with any booking or appointment softwares?
Currently, we do not have any direct integrations. We have some of them in our roadmap, and I will send a link to the chat in a moment. Hold on, please. Yes, this public roadmap for our integrations. I have just sent it to the chat. Currently, you can integrate almost anything through Zapier. We have a manual on how to do this in our manual sections in the website. You can use this JSON block to send user data to Zapier, and then with Zapier to put it almost anywhere, to CRMs, to CMSs, to MailChimp, ActiveCampaign, HubSpot, Intercom, and so on and so forth. But we are working on adding more integrations, and by March 2019, we expect to have most of these integrations that are listed in the roadmap live and working. Hopefully that helps.
All right, we had someone asking, is this app compatible with text messaging?
Yeah, Absolutely, and this is one of our most powerful features. If, for example, if I go to bot settings, messengers, you can see this Twilio integration here. You just paste your Twilio API credentials with account ID and authentication token, and then you can import your existing phone numbers here and use bot skills to broadcast messages and to react to messages that your users send to your phone numbers. It works exactly the same way as in messengers, for example, as in Facebook Messenger. When someone is sending a short message to your phone number, to your business phone number, this default skill is triggered, and you can check with switch block what was the message, or you can use NLP integration to understand what the user was speaking about, and then start one of these bot skills to send messages back to the user.
And Vito would like to know, can you use GIFs in the chatbot?
Yeah, absolutely. You just take this image block here, for example, hi there, and you can put a GIF here when you click replace, and it will be live in the chatbot. When you use this in the canvas, in the editor, it will be static in the editor. We don't have support for this yet, but when it is actual conversation happening in Messenger, it will be an animated GIF.
Okay. All right. And let's see. Jim asked, can you add a checkbox in Shopify in the add to cart page? And if they don't purchase, send them an abandoned cart message.
That's a great question, and we have this in development right now. It will be live next week. It will be in Grow Tools, in Settings, Grow Tools, Send to Messenger checkbox. You'll have this here. It's already in beta testing. It's already finished, and you will have this checkbox when adding some items to the cart to send these abandoned cart messages. And what else? Another powerful feature that I would like to show you is this tracking feature. If you take this code and put it to your website, every time the user is doing something on your website, you can send an event to the bot with this Activechat track. For example, here you see the page visit, but you can add more events here, like add to cart, checkout started, and so on and so forth, and start specific bot skills based on these events. So efficiently, when the user is adding something to the shopping cart, you can send some heads-up message in the messenger, and then update the user about the abandoned cart, about the order status updates, and so on and so forth.
All right. Let's see. I had a good question here. Igor was saying, can he just put the chatbot on his website? He does not need it on Facebook.
That's another great one, and currently we do not have our own dedicated chat widget for websites. It's in the works, and we'll have it soon. Currently, we are using this Facebook chat widget, but by March we will have this our own site chat widget plugin, and it is included in the AppSumo deal. You will be able to use it.
Okay. All right, and Michael wants to know, is there a way to preview in the dashboard without going to Messenger?
Currently, no. Currently, we are using Messenger for this, so it's basically it's a good practice to test your bot first on a test empty Facebook page, and then when you are ready, just to reconnect this bot to another page that your business is connected to. But again, we'll be adding this quite soon. We are a young platform, and we already have a ton of features, and we cannot do everything at once. But we are adding features at quite a high pace.
Okay. And let's see, Joseph wants to know, is there a master list of skills and definitions somewhere within the Activechat platform?
Yeah, absolutely. If you go, let me jump to another bot, to a more complex bot. This chatbot that we have built for this AppSumo deal. And here it is, AppSumo deal bot. We have almost 2,000 users in this chatbot by now. By the way, you can check your stats here in the stats page. And if I go to this bot structure, to visual editor, You have all skills master list here in the all skills button. And you can see that this bot has quite a lot of it. Mostly it's Dialogflow small talk and Dialogflow intents for the messages that the user has sent to the bot. Okay, Christine, did it answer the question?
Yes, sorry. Just need to turn my microphone back on. All right, let's see. So Sarah's saying, do we need to tell previous interactive conversations to type start every time they want to run the script?
Currently, yes, to run the bot again, when you are starting your new conversation, you have to type something like start. But we are, if the user is sending any other message to the bot, the default skill will be triggered automatically, and the user doesn't have to type start each time you make changes to the bot. And also, we are currently working on another great feature that will keep the buttons in the bot even after you make changes to the bot. So when you have previous buttons or quick replies, it will keep working even after you rerun and redeploy the bot. We expect to have this by the end of February.
Okay, great. So James is asking, do I have the ability to create sub-accounts or users so that I can let my clients create their own bots?
Again, this is something that we have in the works. We have this account sharing feature. You will be able to create bot admins, bot owners, bot developers, and bot live chat operators. And you will be able to share this access with your customers. And we will also provide a white label solution where you can customize the domain name and this Activechat logo with your own chat, with your own logo. So again, we expect to have this by March with our next major release.
Awesome. Okay, so we have a couple questions about the ease of duplicating bots. Can you duplicate bots, and how easy is it?
It's as easy as a click of a mouse. When you go to bots section, and when you click create new bot, you can use any of your bots as a template. You click create new bot. Hold on for a moment. It takes some time to load, and you can, if you click my templates, you have all the bots that you have built in your account, and you can just use this template, and a copy of this bot will be created for you. Hope that helps.
Yes. Let's see. So what happens if we have Sumo-lings who are currently using another chatbot? Can they import their users into Activechat?
This is not possible due to Facebook privacy limitations. The reason for this is that each user on Messenger has application-specific ID, and this application-specific ID is specific for the chat platform that you are using. But there is a workaround for this. You can connect both platforms at the same time. You can make a broadcast with one platform and then catch these conversations, catch these users replying to your broadcast in another platform. And this way you can get the most active part of your audience imported into another platform.
We have lots of questions around white labeling. How many codes does one have to buy to get the white labeling option?
The white labeling option is included in our stacking 5 codes deal. And when you stack 5 codes, you will be able to replace the branding, to change the Activechat logo, and to connect your own domains as soon as we have this in place. And again, ETA for this is March 2019.
All right, and Ben would like to know, how do you stop the bot from interfering with the chat when you want to manually chat with a client?
That's a great question, and currently you cannot do this, but what you can do, you can just put nothing in the default skill so that the bot will stay silent when users are sending a message to your page inbox. And you can communicate with users directly from the page inbox using the bot just for buttons and quick replies navigation in the chatbot. But again, we have a live chat feature in the works. It will be available quite soon, and it will let you, when you go to this users panel, let me show you how it works. For example, when I go to AppSumo Deal Bot and click Users here, when you go to the list of users, you will be able to pause the bot for a specific user and to communicate with that user directly from this dashboard. Here you can see in the bottom right corner, you have an empty space for this send message, and you will be able to send messages directly from here, pausing the bot. I hope this answers the question.
Turn my mic on again. All right. So Jeffrey would like to know, are there step-by-step video tutorials on setting up different bots and bot types within the Activechat platform?
That's a great question, and we are already working on this. We will be adding more videos in the coming weeks, and I personally I am recording these videos right now. And we are, as I said before, we are a small team, and we just didn't have the time to prepare everything for the AppSumo before the AppSumo launch. But we'll definitely put a lot of efforts in this, and we will launch something that we call Bot Academy right after the AppSumo launch, and everyone is invited to participate in this. It will be a free education on how to build chatbots, how to use chatbots for marketing, how to use chatbots for business, how to earn money building chatbots, and it will be focused on the features of our platform. So yes, expect more to have in the coming weeks.
That sounds exciting. All right, let's see. Jarian would like to know, how can I set up multi-language support?
That's a great question, and let me show you directly in the bot how you can do this in this sample bot that we are building for this webinar. You have a system variable that is called locale. When you go, let's go to this AppSumo webinar bot to the editor. And when the user is sending a message to the bot, first, before checking for keywords, you can put another check here with a switch block. I will just insert it here. And I will add check for locale. It will contain some values that are specific for each user. And for example, if locale equals en, then you can branch the conversation to English part. And if locale equals, for example, Spanish language, then you can branch the conversation to another skill. And it's a good practice. For example, you can use these send blocks here. For English-speaking users, you can send it, for example, to start English skill. And for Spanish-speaking users, you can send the conversation to start Spanish skill. And then you just add these two skills to the bot with this plus sign, and you can have completely different conversation for people speaking different languages. Does it help?
I think so. Jasik is asking, can this bot reply to Facebook comments?
That's another Grow tools that we are working on currently, and we'll have it soon. It will be in the Grow tools section. And yes, it will allow the bot to start specific skills based on the content of the comment and based on the exact post that the user is commenting. So you can have one bot working for different posts and for different keywords in the comments. Yes, that's something that is already in the works.
Okay. And we just have a few moments left, so we'll ask just a couple more questions. Michael would like to know, can the visitor ask to chat with a live person and alert some way where the where a live person is actually notified instead of the automatic messenger?
Yeah. Again, can I please switch the echo? Okay, thank you so much. Again, this live chat feature will be available soon, but currently there's a workaround for this, and let me show you how it works in AppSumo Deal Bot. When the bot is asking, did it help? And for example, when the bot doesn't understand what the user is speaking about, the bot is sending, sorry, not sure about this one. And then the user has the option to forward the message to the bot admin. And when the user clicks forward, please, as you have seen before, this message comes directly to my own account in this chatbot, and I can reply back to the user. We will be posting this AppSumo deal chatbot as a template to be so that you can decompose it and reverse engineering it, and you'll see how it is made in this conversation.
Okay, and I know that you've answered this before, but we just got 2 more questions, so it looks like maybe a few people tuned in late. We have a couple more questions about how to use this with WordPress.
Basically, as described before, I can send a link to the manuals. You just go to Settings, Grow Tools, and you can copy this copy code here. You click this to copy and insert this code to WordPress with any plugin that lets you manage widgets in the WordPress. It's just a regular JavaScript widget that can be pasted in your page HTML. And then you will have this chat box on your web page. Again, this is in the manuals. If you search the manuals for chat widget, it will pop up.
Okay, and Nick is asking, is there any way they can...
Sorry to interrupt you. I just forgot. We have another great feature. This is landing page. You can go to Grow Tools landing page and just copy this URL of a landing page. And when you can use this also as a link to your chatbot that starts directly communicating on Messenger. So it's great to use for example, in AdWords and Facebook ads when you want to send traffic directly to your chatbot. And Google AdWords doesn't let you use Messenger links. So you can use this landing page for the chatbot to start communicating with this bot.
Okay, awesome. And so we're going to wrap up now. We did have one last question come in, and maybe you can answer. Nick would like to know, is there any way that they can go ahead and practice interacting with one of the bots that you've already set up right now so they can get a feel for how it works?
Yeah, absolutely. When you go to bots section, and when you click create new bot, you have this list of templates that you can build bots from. And every template has a preview bot that is live on Messenger. If you click this Messenger icon here, it will start, you can see a preview in Messenger. It will start communicating to this template that is already live on Messenger. So you can see how it works on Messenger, and you can immediately dive into this template to see how it is built.
Great, awesome. So Andrew, thank you so much for doing this. I think you simplified chatbots for those who are tuned in, and there were lots of great questions. In the event that they have questions after this webinar, later today, tomorrow, or after they watch the replay, how can they get a hold of you to ask those questions?
The easiest way to ask questions will be using live chat in the application itself. It's in the bottom right corner, and you can send messages to the chatbot that we have on AppSumo deal page. They get forwarded to me directly, and I can answer these messages. And you can send the email to ask@Activechat.ai, and we'll do our best to answer these messages.
Awesome. So thank you guys for tuning in, and I apologize for the technical difficulties. We will try and get that fixed for next webinar so that way we can interact more seamlessly. Again, Andrew, thank you so much. This replay will be sent out later today, guys, so that you can rewatch it or catch up on what you missed out. So thank you so much, and we'll see you later. Bye.
Thank you so much for having me. Bye-bye. Thank you, everyone.